Yo, hello there. Welcome, guys. It's been a long time since I make a Arcana guide, right? And this one I will make a Empress Arcana guide for you guys to know about. I will only talk about the 332 build and 440 build with Ray Captain because for Empress we have a lot of choice to build with, but I think these two builds are the only most consistent build and the most practical build in actual raid, right? But if you're talking about ceiling, there is definitely a lot of another choice or alternatives you can choose. Like right now, I'm trying myself with Spec Swift build with Stream of Edge, but that's the other thing. This video we only talk about the 332 and 440 build, because I think these two build, if you are new to this class, you should choose these two of build instead of the other builds. Yeah, it is the easiest and the most practical, as I mentioned, right? Okay, so I think this video would be kind of long because I would include two builds and we also need to talk about the cards, and I will try to not go down too detailed because you can actually check out my previous guide for my Emperor. I have talked about these kind of common cards, and I will only talk about the details of the exclusive card when you use Empress, because you can have different cards when you're using different side. And for these common cards, you can check out my Emperor guide for the advanced version and know about the details. So yeah, let's begin. So let's talk about the 332 build first. If you want to check out 440, I suggest you watch this part first because actually all of the Empress build are based on the core of from 332 build. Yeah, and 440 you just change a little bit from the 332 build. So I will talk about the 332 side first. So in order to make you guys more understanding about the build. So what exactly is the numbers means? Hold on. Okay. So first of all, 440, 332. What does this number mean? So 3 means the blue skills, red skilled, and yellow skilled. So by the 332 meanings, we will use 3 of the blue skill and 3 of the red skill and 2 of the yellow skills. So what exactly does the color means? I will explain it now. So for Empress, we are using this kind of blue skill to stack us. Right now you can see I have 3 blue skill, right? Each time I use my skill, I will get myself 1 to 2 stacks or 1 to 3 stacks, depends on which skill I'm using. So this one I can get myself a 2 stacks if I use the combo part. And for the next skill, I can get myself 3 stacks with the tripod, so I can get 4 stacks now, right? You can see from the boss and myself. So what does it do with the stack? You can see there is a red skill here, right? Red skill is our main damage skill. Actually, they are the only damage source that Empress do. So 3 red skill mean we have 3 damage source, and by consuming the stack with the red skill, we do the damage. Okay, that's the concept. And if we doesn't stack to the full, which is the 4 stack, we will do low damage, right? You can see the damage is very little. Okay, so this is the core basic, the concept of how Empress work. And what about the yellow skill? Yellow skill are our synergy skill. By the synergy, I not only mean the party synergy. Like right now, you can see we have our 10% crit rate synergy, right? But also, it means our self synergy, which is really important as well. As you know, you can see these two of yellow skill, they give us 77.5% of crit damage, which is a very huge boost to our red skill. So if you remember, my Celestial Ring do around this kind of damage, right? 28. But if I use the yellow skill, oh, this didn't quit. It will do like most likely the double. Yeah, this is huge, right? So basically, we use blue for stacking, we use red for damage, and we use yellow for synergy and boost damage. Okay, this is how Empress Arcana works. Okay, so let's talk about the stacks. For stacks, we have to go full spec no matter which build we use. Okay, both 332 and 440 we go full spec, because as you can see, specialization can increase our wound skill damage, which is a direct increase damage of our damage source, and also we can get more cards if we have higher spec, like this kind of system, right? And also with our awakening damage as well, because for Empress, our awakening actually does damage. Unlike Emperor, we only use the awakening for during cast, but for Empress, we can use this for burst and for opener, anything. Okay, so we go full spec, and right now I'm using Swift, but I suggest you to use crit. So no matter you choose 332 or 440, you should go full spec with the necklace and your bracelet with crit. So you will eventually looking for around 500 to 600 crit and 18,000 spec for the optimal build. Okay, and for set, we use the Nightmare set. This is the only choice we can choose, because another thing about Arcana is we have to play around the bonus mana, and this can only happens in the Nightmare set. And you may ask why we have to play around the bonus mana, because Empress, even we have full 10 cooldown level gem, the cooldown is actually not really low. You can see I have level 10 gem right now, but my Celestial Ring do still 10 seconds cooldown. 10 seconds cooldown for 40k damage is not really that good. So we have to play around bonus mana, and as long as we can enter the bonus mana, the longer time we maintain the bonus mana, the more damage we can have. Okay, so that's why Empress, how you play this style is like a consistent burst class. Rather, when we enter bonus mana, we will have like 5 to 6 or this will be even lower, like 3 seconds, around 3 seconds, and this will be 5 to 6 seconds cooldown. And we will constantly using our stacking skills and rune skill to do a little burst damage combined with our cast. Okay, that's the play style. Okay, so for engravings, for 5 times 3 plus 1, this is my setup. You can choose either Empress 1 or Adrenaline 1, but I suggest you still go Empress 1 because this should be the highest ceiling engravings choice. Okay, but still you can go Adrenaline 1 if you worry about the money. Okay, but I think it's not much difference. Yeah, but for 5 times 3, you can of course you need to go Empress Grace for level 3, and you can choose between Hitmaster, Cursor, or Ray Captain. And for Core, you have to choose Grudge and Adrenaline, because Adrenaline is very suitable for Empress because we are constantly spamming our skills and also cards. When you use cards, that you can get your stacks of Adrenaline as well, right? And you can actually choose from Cursor and Hitmaster. And by this video, I suggest you use Ray Captain. Yeah, but if you watch about community guide, they can suggest you for barricade, and you can also choose that, but here I would only talk about the Ray Captain stuff. Okay, so we are not using the protection runes for our build, only Ray Captain, because on paper only, okay, we are talking about on paper. On paper, Ray Captain does more damage than barricade. Okay, so this is the engraving parts. Okay, let's go to the skills part. As I mentioned, we use the blue skill for stacking, red skill for damage, and yellow skills for synergy and damage boost. So let's talk about the blue skill first. For blue skill, I don't think in 3-3-2 build there is another alternative with Ray Captain. You can use Corrosion Accelerate if you go barricade, but here we will only talk about dealer's flip skills. Yeah, this is the only alternative if you want to change barricade with Ray Captain. But since we are using Ray Captain, this one, we will talk about dealer's flip. Yeah, okay. So this skill, what does this skill looks like? This is like if you ever played Condenser, you will find these skills really familiar. So right now, I'm facing this side, right? My cursor is aiming here, and if I use dealer's flip, it will dash backwards for once, okay? And if you combo it, it will come back. Okay, so this is you can get, this is a mobility skill while it is a stacking skill, and in fact all of our blue skill are mobility skills. So if you can ever see another Empress Arcana in other ways, you will see them flying around. That's the reason for why they can dash so much time, because all of their skills are mobility skills, and you can reposition yourself with this kind of skill if you know how to use them well. Okay, so one by one first. Dealer's flip, you should go all of the blue skill with level 10. You don't have to go with more skill points because this is not damage skill, so don't invest much for it. And for first tripod, we will use the movement speed tripod, because our damage source from Ray Captain all come from our mobility skills. All of our mobility skill, after we used it, we have certain seconds for our movement speed boost. So right now you can see I have myself a 30% movement speed, and if I use second skill, I gain myself another speed movement tripod. Okay, and this one as well. Okay, 30% movement speed. So combined with Yearning Set, we can get the full cap of our Ray Captain boost damage, which is 18%. So bear in mind, you have to synergy these 3 skill really well with your wound skill. Okay. So back to the tripod. Movement speed tripod, and this one second, we use the second part. This increase our stacks from 2 to 3. And this one also we change to combo mode, so we can actually dash it back to dodge patterns, or you can choose not to use it, or you can go back. Okay. Spiral Edge. So this skill is you can press it 2 times with the same animation. So first time you pressed it, you will dash a little bit forward, and you can use it second time as well. So if you can use this skill well, you can move around the boss whenever you want. And the tips of using this skill is you don't have to actually like So for the second skill, Spirit Edge, this is also a movement skill and stacking skill, and you can dash around the boss like this, and you can get 2 stack each time you press the skill, but you have to hit it, of course. Every of the skill you have to hit the boss to get the stacks. If I hit nothing, we cannot get the stack. Okay, we have to hit the boss to get 2 stack. So with this skill only, let me consume the stack first. With this skill only, we can immediately get 4 stack for only 1 skill. Okay, and this skill can is the most highest movement skill tripod skill, because it automatically increase our movement speed by 40%. Okay, but there is only 2 seconds, so keep in mind you have to use your wound skill in this 2-second window after you use Spiral Edge. Okay, and for tripod we use the cooldown, and this one we can add 1 stat for each time we use our skill. So if you don't click this tripod, we can actually just get 2 stat in total, even we press 2 times of the skill. So this is a must. You can this is the must to choose. And also this movements tripod. Okay, and for wounds we go Gale Wind, because this skill is actually the most slowest skill. Yeah. Scratch Dealer. Scratch Dealer is a really important movement skill as well. So the animation is like this: you dash towards and dash backwards if you use the combo. Okay, so similar with Dealer's Flip, you can choose only go front but not dashing back. But keep in mind how this tripod works is you can only get your movement speed after you use the combo part. So you must dash back to get the safety device, which means our movement speed tripod. Okay, and the special of this skill is it can also give you attack speed and movement speed as well. So we always use this skill for opener and for higher faster animation after we use these skills. Okay, so make sure you have the dash back to use your other skill. Okay, and also this skill is important because this is also our party synergy, which means the 10% crit rate. So make sure you have to point this tripod, the second tripods from first row, and this one, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to even level up it, just stay it in level 1. It's not really that much damage. And for this one, of course, we use the movement speed and attack speed tripod. For runes, we go Gale Wind, legendary Gale Wind. Call of Destiny. This is a really important skill as well, because after Arcana's balance patch, this skill changed from yellow skill to actually a blue skill. If you don't know what I mean, you can read the tripod, like here. This yellow skill, if you didn't point it to the right side, it's like this. The animation is really slow, okay, and we cannot get anything from it. But if we use this tripod, Fake Flip, it will change to stacking skill, and we can get 2 stacks each time we use this skill, okay, and the animation is even faster, okay. So this skill is really important. It can mix and match with your previous blue skill for the stacks. And also, the more important thing is, this skill is one of the source from 332 build that it can gain our crit damage for 77.5%, and this is very much, right? So we can boost our damage for our rune skill after we use the Call of Destiny. And also this skill tripod, we use attack speed tripod. And for runes, we use you can use Bleed here, and I use quick recharge because I'm currently using the 440 build. Okay, we will talk about it later. And if you choose to use 52, you can choose either Bleed, Purify, or Rage, just your preference. Okay, but also still you can choose quick recharge. Runes does not really matters for this slot. Okay, so you can see we can use this skill with 2 stack immediately, and we can get ourselves the crit damage buff. Okay, return. This is also another synergy and crit damage skill. I mean crit damage buff skill. So also this is our only counter skill with 332, and this is very fast and very smooth, very comfortable to use, because yeah, it's just like that. It's just one click and you can counter far behind. Okay, the range is very high. Okay, and for tripod, we will go for the crit synergy tripod, and this one it increased the size, the radius, and this one it gives us the crit damage buff as well. And keep in mind, this is 5 seconds, and Call of Destiny only gives us 3 seconds, but Call of Destiny can give us stacks as well, while Return cannot give us the stack. So you have to choose carefully between Call of Destiny and Return when using our rotation. Oh, and for runes, we use the Rage rune. Rage rune would be great for these skills. But also, you can also choose like something like Quick Recharge, Bleed, and Purified, just your preference. Okay, so let's talk about our damage skill, the rune skill. I will talk about the rune skill one by one by the order of the damage they do. And for the most damage skill we do, it is the Celestial Ring, this one. Okay, the animation is like this. Okay, as the range is pretty decent, we can spam it like this kind of range. Okay. Oh, you can actually spam it right here as well. So this is the most damage skill we have. And of course, for this skill, you have to make sure you get your stacks full stack, which means 4 stack, before you use the skills, because these skills does nearly 0 damage when we don't have 4 stacks. Okay, so keep in mind. And for tripod, we use first one. This is the crit rate tripod. So for Arcana, Empress Arcana, 3 of the skill we use, they all have the crit rate tripod. So our crit rate is actually pretty high when doing the damage, combined with our adrenaline. Okay, and also our synergy, our party synergy, which gives us extra 10% of crit rate as well. So you can actually guarantee to crit like every time you use the rune skill. Okay, so this by mass we can give 45% crit rate. Okay, and for second tripod, it directly increase the stack damage, and this one is direct increase for stack damage as well. And for runes, we can use wealth. Secret Garden. This skill is a melee skill. It looks like this. It's a really fast animation skills. Okay. And the mastering, I think it should be like here. Okay. Oh, you can still hit from here, but I suggest you hit more near the boss, because sometimes I don't know, maybe it's the pain issue or the boss literally just run away. Sometimes you will miss like in this kind of range. Okay, and also you have to make sure to stack full stack with this skill as well. And for tripod, you will go crit rate for the first row, and this one it will increase our stack damage, and also the first tripod for the first row stacking skill also. And for runes, you can use legendary quick recharge or wealth as your preference. For the last skills, Fall of a Kind. This is a really important skill because this skill, the special part is it does the less damage among all of the 3 skill, but when you are bursting, when you have this card called Judgement, which I will explain it later, it will become the most damage skill if you are lucky. Okay, why am I say this? Because right now you can see I have my cooldown setting, right? But this tripod, the first tripod, it has a 55 chance to reset. So we can spam this skill if we are lucky. Okay, let's talk about the tripod first. Tripod, we will use, as I mentioned, this one for sure, 55% to increase the chance to cooldown. And this one we choose the stack damage obviously, and also this one damage increase. Okay, and for runes we choose the legendary wealth rune because this skill it gives us the most meter to draw cards. Okay, and the animation is like this. Okay, it is also a pretty fast skill as well. It looks like it's not far, but you can use it like in a pretty decent range. Okay, and you can see if I'm lucky, I can spam it a couple times. And obviously I'm not lucky. Haha. Okay, you can see I used that 3 times. So if you're lucky, combined with cast, you can do so much damage with this skill in like a few seconds. And I will show you for the card sessions. So for gem, we will use obviously all of the cooldown and damage gem for our rune skill. So you can see Celestial Ring, Fall of a Kind, and Secret Garden. We use all of the damage and cooldown gems. And for the rest of our skill, we both put 1 cooldown gem with it, like Call of Destiny, Spirit Edge, Dealer's Flip, Returned, and Scratch Dealer. So this class, for 332, it is only a 3 damage skill gem class. For the last thing, Awakening, I suggest you use Deathbind. This is the only skill you should choose for the Awakening, because the other skill, it does nearly low damage and it just helps you draw the cards. But with this skill, Deathbind, you can actually stack your stacks with your brew skill with it, and I will show you. If I just use my Awakening, it does like nearly low damage. But if I use with my stacks, you can see damage is so much difference. Okay, so make sure you can stack with the full stack before you use your Awakening. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the rotation. For Empress rotation, this is pretty random, no matter which builds you played. So I will only show you the first rotation, which means the opener when you enter the gate, and after that you have to pretty much figure it out with yourself. But keep in mind, the rotation of Arcana is under a few principle. I will show you. So the first thing, the most important thing is of course your damage come from your wound skill, right? And each time before you hit your wound skill, you have to make sure a few things. First, for sure, you have to gain 4 full stacks. Okay. Second, you have to gain your movement speed tripod activate. Okay. That's better one thing. Okay. And the third thing, you have to make sure both your crit synergy and crit buff synergy activated. So basically these 3 things you have to make sure before you hit your wound skill. Okay, so combine with the blue skill and yellow skill, you have to choose wisely before each time you use your red skill. And the next thing is, how do you choose between Call of Destiny and Return? Okay, so you see this buff, it gives you 3 seconds, right? But Return gives you 5 seconds. 3 seconds, ideally, you can fit in 2 red skill. But 5 seconds is the window is more comfortable to use 2 rune skill. Okay, so sometimes you will find yourself only fit 1 rune skill in the 3 seconds window, because the boss will go away, or your stacks isn't applying, or you missed some of the stacks. Okay, so you will only hit like one wound skill. So make sure for Celestial Ring you have to always hit with the crit damage window. Okay, like 3 seconds here, right? Boom, the buff just gone. 2 wound skill. Okay, but if you use return for 5 seconds, your buffer is larger a lot. You see, I still have 1 to 2 seconds to use, and I haven't set my yearning set attack speed buff, so in actually you have more time to do that. Okay, so for the rotation, the starter rotation, it should be first skill you use is Scratch Dealer, because this skill can instantly gives you your party synergy and also movement speed and attack speed move. Okay, for second skill you should use Call of Destiny, because this skill instantly gives you 2 stacks and also your crit damage buff. And because we are using Nightmare set, we will instantly use our Awakening to apply the stacks as well. And keep in mind, this Awakening will not consume your stacks. I will show you. So we have 4 stacks, alright? It wouldn't cancel our stacks. So right after we use the Awakening, we can actually just use our Celestial Ring right away. So we don't have to save these 2 skills to gain another 4 stats. We can just spam it after we use our Awakening. So the whole process should be like this. Okay, and by the way, you can actually cancel the animation of your Awakening with your spacebar. Okay, but this thing is not really a must thing you can do with, unless you're playing the Barricade Engraving, because with Barricade you can put protection wounds here, but when we use our Awakening we may have no shield. So by this animation we can assure our shield activate, and the Awakening can gain the Barricade buff as well. Okay, so after we use Celestial Ring, we can use 2 times of Spell Edge to gain full stacks with only this skill. And we can use Return, because by that time our Call of Destiny crit damage buff should be end, and we have to get another crit damage buff and also the party synergy as well to boost our wound skill damage. So by 2 times Spell Edge, Return, and we use the second most damage skill, Secret Garden. Okay, so right now the process will be like this. Okay, so for the next one, we will left our Dealer's Flip and Fall of the Kind. So what do we do with these 2 skills? And as you can see, Dealer's Flip, it only gives us 3 stats. Okay, so it cannot maximize the damage for our Fall of a Kind. But by that time, your Call of Destiny should be able to come back. So you can combo with Dealer's Flip and Call of Destiny to get 4 stack and consume it with your Fall of a Kind. And this whole process should be your start opener. And the whole process will be like this. Okay. And after that, it is pretty much your choice to choose which skill you use. but just keep in mind the three principle that you have to make sure you get your movement skill tripod activate and your crit damage tripod activate, and also of course you have to consume the wound skill with 4 stacks. So I will show you like a brief rotation after how you do with your first rotation, okay? And you can check out my buff here whether I can keep my 100% uptime for my all of the synergy. Okay, let's go. Okay, something like that. Okay, make sure you maintain your balance mana so you can constantly spam all of your skills, and also fits the principle that I mentioned before. Okay, here comes to the interesting part, the cards. So as I mentioned, I will only briefly talk about the common cards because I already talked about it for in my Empress session. You can check out that session. I will link a description down there. Okay, and for the exclusive card, I will talk a little bit detail about it. Okay, so for Empress, the exclusive card we have is Judgement and Balance. Yeah, it should be these two only. Okay, let's talk about them one by one first. Okay, so for free has right, this one as well. Oh no, Emperor have this one. Yeah, my bad. So this is also a common card. Okay, so for free hat snake, enhanced auto attack skills that can change your style for your stacking skill, because each time you attack you will get yourself a stacks. And the difference between the Empress and Emperor is this skill can actually help your rotation if you use this card really well. Yeah, if you're in a good hand, and this card is actually kind of a damage boost card because it can makes you use less of your boost skill, but you can get more stacks with these cards. I will show you. Okay, so I have the card, right? If I used it, my attacks will go like 3 hack direction, and each time I auto attack I gain myself 1 stack. So combined with these 4 stacking skills, I can get more efficiency for using my stacking skill without spamming too much, so it won't be a damage loss when some of my red skill coming off cooldown, but I'm still stacking. Okay, watch. Okay, the idea is like this. You have to fit 1 auto attack between each time you combo your stacking skills and your synergy skill. Okay, so you can use less of your boost skill to get the full stack, and this will be a damage increase. But in a 3-3-2 build, when we are in balance mana, it doesn't really have much window to use free head snake, so it only matters if you are in a magic addiction phase. But still, it's worth to mention that. Okay, next one, Mayhem. Nothing to talk about, just spam it. Yeah, if you want to go detail, go check on my Empress session. Okay, Corrosion as well, and Joy is an interesting card, which for, you can just read the description here. It decreases the cooldown after you use the skill, so make sure you can use your skill first and use the Joy. And the most important thing of using Joy is you don't want to use Joy when to decrease these kind of skills cooldown. You only want to use Joy after you use Celestial Ring. Yeah, I don't think you can also use Joy with your Secret Garden and Fall of Kind, because these two are not your main damage skill. The only thing you can decrease is your Celestial Ring. Okay, so you can gain the maximum effect of Joy. The next one, Chest of Fate. 4 seconds, your skill damage doesn't increase or increase up to 40%. So if you want to check out how this card works, I have a detailed version for my Emperor session. You can check out there. And how do you use this with Empress? You have to make sure you land this card in your Celestial Ring and Secret Garden window. Okay, so 4 seconds is basically similar with your Call of Destiny or your Return crit damage buff, which this one gives you 3 seconds and this one gives you 5 seconds. So by using this card right in between the window of the crit damage buff, you want to use it with when you can have your Celestial Ring. So the ideally is like this. After we use our Call of Destiny and Scratch Dealer, when we used Celestial Ring right before the ring hit the boss, we use Twist of Fate to increase the damage, because the card itself pops, the effect pops right in the seconds we use the card, but we don't have to actually press the cards before we use the skills. Okay, let me show you. Okay, see, this is how you use. You can choose press the cards after you use the skills. And although I didn't get the buff there, but the idea is like that. Ghost card, nothing to talk about. Movement speed, but we already have our movement speed tripod by using these 3 of blue skill, and with the yearning set we are already max cap the movement speed, so doesn't really matter. Cull, this is the one of the most damage card we can have, and this one automatically increase our crit rate and crit damage. So we guarantee we can crit with our rune skill, but make sure you hit the skill and use the card when you can only attack the boss, I mean the single target, because if you are hitting multiple targets, this card doesn't work. Okay, so the best skills you can choose with these cards, of course, is your Celestial Ring. And same idea for your Twist of Fate. You have to use the code skill after you press Celestial Ring, because this skill has a little bit delay, right? When I press the skills, it doesn't hit the boss immediately, and I can use the card right before the ring hit the boss. So to maximize the damage, you can also pair it with your Deathbind and Celestial Ring when you have your Awakening, so your Awakening can crit as well, because Awakening have no crit rate tripod, right? But our Celestial Ring have crit rate tripod. So if we have Cull between the Awakening and Celestial Ring combo window, it can do very much damage. Okay, and the idea will be like this. Okay, so all of the numbers are yellows, as you can see. Balance. This is the like I would describe this card as a advanced damage increase card, because if you use this card really well, it can boost up your damage like a lot. But this card itself doesn't directly increase your damage. It's not a really attack card like Twisted Fates, Judgement, and Cull. But how this card works is it can automatically gain you one more stat with all of your brew skill. So on paper it says it gives you one more stat, right? But actually it gives you more than one, because right now you see I have no balance used, right? If I use Scratch Dealer, I get 2 stat at most. If I use Call of Destiny, 2 stat as well, right? And Scratch Dealer, these skills can automatically gain us 4 stat with 2 times combo, right? And Scratch Dealer is 3 stat. So if we use balance by this Scratch Dealer, it can automatically give us 4 stat with only this skill, and also Dealer's Flip 2. Okay, so if you use this card, your stacking rotation will be changed. Okay, I will show you a little bit, but you don't have to really memorize the rotation right now, because just practice makes perfect. The more you draw these cards, the more you learn how to combine with your combo with your rotation, and the better DPS you can do. Okay, so right now I will just use it. You see, each time I use Scratch Dealer and Dealer's Flip, I immediately gain 4 stat with the balance card. So we can save 1 to 2 skill when we have balance cards to maximize our damage. This is a really good card if you know how to use it. Judgement. This is the signature of why Empress does so much damage, because this card can ignore all of your stacks, and you can spam all of your wound skill in just a few seconds. So the card, how does the card works is for 4 seconds, wound skill always trigger the 4 stack effect, which means you don't have to use all of this skill to activate your wound skill. You can actually just press it when they are ready. So make sure when you use the skills, the most ideal situation is you have 3 of your wound skill ready. Okay, but most likely it's not gonna happen, because the cooldown of this kind of this 3 of skill doesn't match. Okay, and I suggest you can use this card when the most important thing is you have to make sure you have Fall of a Kind, and you can choose either combo it with Secret Garden or Celestial Ring. Either these 2 skills are ready, you can still use Judgement with Fall of a Kind. And as I mentioned before, Fall of a Kind is the biggest burst combo skill, because this skill can reset by chance, right? So combined with Judgement, in 4 seconds, if you can reset this skill like 1,000 times, it does very high damage. Okay, I will show you. So right now our wound skill without stack does like 0 damage, right? Like this, nearly no damage. But if we use Judgement, you see, all of them does the full stack damage, okay? But make sure you have to use this skill, also you have to fit with the principle that I mentioned before, which is your Ray Captain buff, your movement speed buff, your party synergy, and also your crit damage. So your Judgement can enjoy all of the damage buff by your own synergy. And also, the most important thing is your Awakening can synergy with Judgement as well. So without any stacks, you can use the Awakening with Judgement, and combined with this 3 wound skill, the damage will be huge. Let me show you. So I will use Scratch Dealer for the party synergy and movement speed buff, and after that I will have 2 stack, right? And when we use return, we gain ourselves 5-second window of the crit damage buff. And because we have Judgement, we don't have to get 4 stack. We can instantly use Awakening and spam all of our wound skill. Okay, watch. You see? You see the damage? This is OP. Moon. This card simply decrease our cooldown, so it has nothing much to talk about. But this is a really decent card as well, because as you know, we have to get in balance mana, right? So the higher cooldown we have, the longer time we can maintain the balance mana. So this card is a pretty important card as well. But make sure, unlike Joy card, the effect is you have to use the Moon card before you use the skill. So make sure if you draw Moon card, you use the Moon card first, and you use your Celestial Ring, so the Celestial Ring can enjoy the benefits from Moon card. Okay, Star card. Star card is a trap card. It's a bad card, the only bad card for Empress. And because we have to maintain in balance mana, right? But this card immediately, not only immediately give us back our MP, but also they give us the MP recovery increase for the next 20 seconds. So how you use this card to minimize the bad effect is we so basically same as Emperor, we can have 3 situation to use. Stop card. How to use correctly. First situation, just use it before map. Okay, so before we enter the map, or the boss untargetable, okay, if we draw a star card, we can just use it, and by the time we can attack again, although it sometimes is less than 20 seconds for doing the map, but still it doesn't have much bad effect compared with during the fight when we use star card. Okay, and the second situation is when we in balance mana and using star card still can't give us back the magic addition phase, and we can use it. Okay, what that means, I will show you. Let me draw a star card first. Okay, so right now we have the star card, and I will try to get into the bonus mana, and you can see the timing when I use the star card is right after I use my Celestial Wing skill, because during the bonus mana our cooldown is lower, right? And after I press my Celestial Wing can enjoy the cooldown from my bonus mana's phase. And if I use star card, it will have chance to get into the magic addition phase. So if I use star card before I use Celestial Wing, my Celestial Wing cannot enjoy the cooldown buff. Okay, I will show you. So let us get into the bonus mana first. Okay, wait for the Celestial Wing, and we used it. So right now we can still have the Celestial Wing cooldown, like you can see it was like 6 seconds, right? So this is how you use it. Okay, and for the third situation is when the mana bar is almost full and we use it. You use star card, so it can minimize the negative effect from star. Okay. Okay, so I got a star card, and let me get into the bonus mana first. So you can see our mana is coming back slowly, right? Because Empress we are not full swiftness, we cannot 100% maintain the bonus mana, especially in real fight. So when the mana is coming back, like almost coming back, and while we're fighting, like this one, we use the star card, so we can minimize the negative effect for the cards. Okay, so basically this is the free situation you can use. Royal. This is a draw card, and it can immediately draw you 2 cards without using your meter. And this is a really simple card. Just you can just use it when you draw this card. But make sure when you meet a situation like this, whether I have another card on the other hand side, right? So make sure you have to use this card first, then you press Royal. Otherwise, you will just draw 1 card, because this card is holding 1 slot for your card deck, right? And you don't want to do that. You want to maximize the Royal effect. You can draw 2 cards, so you have to use Mayhem first and use Mayhem, so gain yourself 2 cards. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a special card that you are, after you use this card, the next skill you use, it automatically reset the cooldown of it. And these effects can include with your awakening as well, and also your spacebar. So, but keep in mind you don't want to use it with the spacebar, because that would be so stupid. That would be waste of this card. And for Empress, we can actually save Wheel of Fortune for our awakening. but most of the time the only thing you want to activate this card is with your Celestial Ring, because this is your highest damage but highest cooldown skill as well. So make sure you press this card before you use Celestial Ring, so you can use twice Celestial Ring. Okay, but still you can use the Wheel of Fortune with your Awakening with it. Okay, but I suggest you don't use Wheel of Fortune. I mean, you don't only just use Wheel of Fortune when your Awakening is ready. You should combine it with Cull and Wheel of Fortune to maximize the damage of your Awakening. Because why you're doing so? Because if our Awakening has no quick rate tripod, right? But our rune skill does. So if you use Wheel of Fortune with your Awakening, if the Awakening doesn't crit, you will screw up. This is kind of waste damage loss. So you better use Wheel of Fortune with your Celestial Ring, even your Awakening is ready. But if you draw like Cull and Wheel of Fortune, you can use it with Awakening, so that your Awakening can guarantee hit and it does higher damage than Celestial Ring. That's the tips. And I will show you how exactly does the combo works. Only for Celestial Ring. I will show you the advanced combo for which two cards you draw in the next session. Okay, so right now I have Wheel of Fortune and I want to activate it with my Celestial Ring. So I will use my basic combo first, which is Stretch Dealer and Call of Destiny, and after that I press the card and I use Celestial Ring. Watch. Okay, so by this order I can use Celestial Ring twice, and this is a really decent damage with the card itself if you can use it wisely. So make sure you can only use the Wheel of Fortune with your Celestial Ring and Deathbind. Don't use this card on other skills, and also Secret Garden as well, and also Fall of a Kind, because Fall of a Kind, it has a chance to reset. If it's reset, it is a waste of the card and it does the less damage anyway. Okay, and Secret Garden, the cooldown of this skill is very low, so you don't want to reset this skill as well. So the only thing you should reset is Celestial Ring. Okay, for the last card, Crown. Crown is a really interesting card because it can copy the last card we used. So right now we have Wheel of Fortune, right? If I use Wheel of Fortune first, and if I draw Crown card for the next card, if I remember I use Wheel of Fortune, I can just use this card and I get myself a second copy of Wheel of Fortune. And so to play this card well, you have to memorize the last card you just used, and for the first time it might be quite hard to remember which card you use, but just practice make perfect. And the tips of using this card is, I suggest you only copy all of your attack cards for sure, like Twist of Fate, Judgement, Cull, and Wheel of Fortune. But also you can choose to copy like Moon or Joy. Yeah, other just leave it, just don't copy with the other. Oh, also balance. If you can manage, if you think you can manage yourself a really good balanced player, okay. And the best card to copy with, of course, is Judgement, because this is the most damage skill, the most damage card from Empress. And the second one, you can choose like Cull or Wheel of Fortune, and also Twist of Fate if you think you're lucky, because Twist of Fate sometimes it gives you nothing, right? It's an RNG card. Yeah, so best card you can choose with is Judgement. If you really don't remember what you used last card, you can actually hold this card and wait for the next decent card pop out. Okay, so right here, for example, I have my Wheel of Fortune, and with these two cards, I can execute a free Celestial Ring combo, which can do really decent damage. I will show you. Okay, so right now we understand all of our cast effects, right? And now I will show you some of the example of which two cards you can hold with to do the burst damage, because Empress, we can see the big numbers, right? And with certain combo, we can do really high damage in few seconds. And ideally, the cards you want to hold is Twisted Fate, Cull, Judgement, and Wheel of Fortune. Okay, and yeah, I will show you for the next few sessions. So first one is Judgement and Wheel of Fortune. You will want to Wheel of Fortune your Celestial Ring, obviously. Watch. Twisted Fate and Judgement. Cull and Twisted Fate. Judgement and Cull. Cull and Wheel of Fortune with your Awakening. So this combo, you can use your Awakening twice, and it can enjoy the buff window between Cull and your synergy as well. And you can fit in one more Celestial Wing with this combo. And this combo can do really high damage, and it can compare with Cull and Judgement as well. But this combo is not really usually be seen, because not only you have to hold these two cards, which is kind of damage loss if you have your rune skill ready, and you have to wait your Awakening come off cooldown as well. So just to show you how you execute this combo. So before I used my Awakening, I pressed Wheel of Fortune, and after the first Awakening, I will use my spacebar to cancel the animation and use the second times of my Awakening. And by that time, I immediately used my Cull to give my first Awakening the buff, the crit buff, the crit buff benefits, right? Because this skill is a delay skill. You can see it hits now, but not immediately. So I can use the Cull right before the knives hit the boss. Okay, so watch. Okay, so for the 440 build, everything is pretty similar, except some of the skills changed. So for stacks, we still go full spec and crit, nothing has changed, and engravings remain the same, and gems we'll talk about it later. So the only skill we changed is here. For 332 we use return, right? We don't use this skill in 440, and we replace Serendipity with it. So what is this skill? This skill right here is the theory is the lowest damage skill, but also at the same time the highest damage skill. because of how much RNG this skill. So you can see, I will talk about the tripod first. By the way, you can choose to invest or 10 points of skill point here, because you still use this kind of free kind of skill to do damage, but not serendipity. And for tripod, we go 1, 1, 3. The first one, it have 50% chance to ignore the boss defense by 80%. So this is already a RNG skill. And the second thing is, you grant 20% chance each stack that your damage is increased by 500. That's a lot, but bear in mind it's only 20%, and it each stacking grants. So it doesn't really have much high chance combined with this one. So it is really RNG skill. And for this tripod, it can increase the these two tripod chance by 20%. So basically all of the tripod is RNG thing, but if you can successfully activate the tripod, it will do insane damage that similar to your Celestial Ring. So that's why 440 you can tell is a higher ceiling build. But if you are not lucky, or if your uptime is not high enough, it can be a lower forward build. Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it's just all of preference, because yeah, if you want to choose 440 build, you have to constantly draw the Judgement card, because the only timing you want to use Serendipity is when you have Judgement card, so that your stack guarantee gives you the 4 stack. Okay, I will show you how this works. So right now, we will try to use couple times of Serendipity. You can see the damage difference. $37, nothing. 23, nothing. 38, 38 as well. So you can see this skill, if you are not lucky, it actually wastes 2 of your blue and yellow skills. So you don't want to use this skill as normal. The best thing you want to do is combine with your Judgment with your Serendipity. Okay, and the only thing, if you don't have Judgment and you still want to use this skill, the only timing you use is when all of your other 3 rune skill are not ready, but you have your blue skill ready. And you know, after you use Serendipity, your coming back red skill can be supported by the next blue skill. So you can find like only 1 or 2 times, maybe 2 are the most, only 1 or 2 times that you can use Serendipity without Judgment during the fight. And you really only want to know, you really only want to use the skill with Judgment only. Okay, trust me. But when you have Judgment and you have 4 of your skill ready with your reset of 4 of a kind, this skill can boost up all of your damage really well. Okay, I will try to draw a Judgment here. Just like that. Okay, so for setup, basically everything is the same. You just have to remove your return and replace it with your Serendipity. And for runes, you can choose wealth, purple wealth, because this skill, you pretty much really don't use this skill without Judgment, so just use wealth with it. And for gem, you can just put your damage gem with it because you will not spam this skill. You will save it and either you use it for counter. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is a counter skill as well. This counter skill replaces return. So not only you sacrifice return, but also your counter skill as well. Because Serendipity counter is pretty in a middle range, like this. But return, you can cast it like here. So the animation and the range is really different. But keep in mind, this skill has twice damage, okay? Like this. 1, 2. And 2 hits counts at counter as well. So you can counter for 2 times if you miss the window of counting. Okay, and for the rotation, because we have no return right now, so the only crit damage supply is from our Call of Destiny. And for Call of Destiny, the crit damage buff is only 3 seconds. So with this build, it is recommend your cooldown gem from Call of Destiny is at least level 9. So you can maintain the 3 seconds window every time you hit your wound skill. And even you have level 10 gem cooldown, you cannot fit all of the 3 seconds window with all of your wound skill. So I would suggest you use Celestial Ring and Secret Garden with the damage crit buff, but not your Fall of Kind and Serendipity for sure. So make sure you can fit in 2 wound skill, and ideally your Celestial Ring and Secret Garden with Call of Destiny. So the rotation is pretty much really similar. Just make sure everything hits with your full stack and movement speed, and also the crit buff window. Okay. Yeah, something like that. So right now we understand like nearly everything from 332 and 440 build. So let's compare which build you should use. Let me open the notepad first. Okay, I have typed all of the things here. And okay, first things first, talk about 332. So the pros of 332 is, first thing, you can get 100% uptime with your crit damage buff, which means your Call of Destiny and your return. Because you have 2 crit buff damage signature skill, so you can take turns to use it, and all of your 3 wound skill can fit in a window of your crit damage, and 70.5% is a lot. So not only your Celestial Ring and Secret Garden can fit in the window, but also your Fourth of Kind. And although Fourth of Kind is the least damage skill, but if you can get 70.5% every time, is a pretty much really decent damage as well. And this thing you cannot do it with 440 build, because you can only have your Call of Destiny, right? You basically sacrifice your return for 1 more wound skill. And so by this side, 332 definitely wins the 440. Okay, and the second thing is not talking about the damage wise. Return your counter skill is very smooth and fast. So from my personal experience, I often find myself counter a lot with these skills, like from far away. Like when I am doing Hell Crown, like either free of the gate 1, gate 2, my teammates, some of the time they cannot do the counter, and if my return is up, I can pretty much counter it easily, like in the far range. So this skill is really comfortable to use in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. And by further explanation for the first point, if your uptime is high enough, which means how to define highness if you can maintain bonus mana for a better time, for a higher time. I mean for a longer time. Okay. And or if you think you are a bad luck person, which means myself is a bad luck person because I don't usually find myself drawing Judgement. And in this case, 332 may be a better choice because, in my opinion, the DPS distribution between 332 and 440 is 332, you rely on your skills more than your cards, and 440 you can do more damage with your cards when you have Judgement. But if you don't have Judgement, 332 definitely do more damage than 440. Okay, so if you can execute your rotation well, 332 definitely wins 440 sometimes because how consistent and practical this build is. Okay, so these are the points. And for the cons, first thing, you lost one red skill. You don't have Serendipity, which means obviously lower ceiling, right? And as I mentioned, if you don't have Judgement, if you have Judgement, if you have Judgement, your burst damage is lower because you lost your one of your red skills, right? Even though your Serendipity can have a pretty much RNG time, you still lose one red skill. So basically, if your Fall of a Kind doesn't reset, you don't do much big numbers damage. Okay, so this is the idea of 332 build. So for 440, the good thing is vice versa from 332, you have one more rune skill, which means higher ceiling. And if you have Judgement, you can do your 4 rune skill combo, so you do a big number damage at that window, at that 4 seconds window. And combined with your support buff, your Adrenaline, or your every other cards, it does, I think it should be that's one of the highest damage in the game, the burst damage in the game. Yeah. And for the cons, of course, you sacrifice your returns, and Serendipity as a counter skill sucks. It's just really melee skill, and the animation is not really good in my opinion. Yeah. And second thing is, if you're not lucky, which means you cannot draw your Judgement and you cannot pop the tripod effect, which is RNG effect itself, this skill is pretty much useless. It's just a counter skill that you sit there and do nothing. Okay, so which means this build is lower floor compared with 3v2. So you can see the difference is basically like this: consistent damage, which means if you are in like long fight and your card draw sucks, 3v2 definitely beats 4-0. And if you're talking about burst damage, like if you're doing the overgear content, 4-0 definitely wins. Okay, so at the end of the day, you can choose what you like, what style you like. If you want more consistent damage and more safe play, you can go 3v2. If you want to gamble much, you can go for 0. Yeah. Okay. Right now we will talk about a bit my personal tips and experience for how you can play Empress better. So the most important thing, of course, is you have to learn your rotation. Okay, the first thing first is your rotation matters a lot than your cards. If you suck at doing your rotation, you will pretty much do 0 damage, like lower than a support. Yeah, I can see many Empress players just walking around, no building their stack or missing their stacks and do nothing. And you don't want to do that because we have to maintain balanced mana and you have to constantly spam your skill. So you have to think fast and act fast. And so you have to learn about which skills is the most ideal skill you have to use at that moment. Right. So for an example, I'm standing here, right? If the boss performs incisive patterns, I will use Dealer's Flip. So before he attacks, I will jump out, and incisive, I will dash in. Okay. So with that execution, I can not only I can get my 3 stacks, but I can dodge the pattern at the same time. So make sure you learn how to use your skills wisely. Okay. And the second thing is, if you watch my 5 tips of how to increase your uptime video, your stacking skills can be a really good tools for you to reposition yourself. Right. So right now, for example, my Dealer's Flip, normally I would just like this, right? But actually, if you like, I'm still standing here. Okay, if you aim your cursor like here, I can dash like this, but I still get the stack. Meanwhile, I can reposition myself in a more safe spot. Okay, so like I can dash like here, I can dash like here, still get the stack, right? Even though I'm standing here, or just dash normally, or I can choose not dash back. Okay, and same idea from this kind of skill too. So for Spirit Edge, you never want to use it right in front of the boss. You want to you don't want to crash it like this. Okay, you don't want to use it like this. You want to use it every time slightly away the boss, so that you can reposition yourself like this, and you can still get the stacks. So make sure to aim your cursor really wisely when you are playing Empress. Okay, like here I can do my stacking. Okay, and yeah, this is pretty much the stacking part. And for the damage part, first thing you have to keep in mind is make sure you fit the principles, the 3 principles every time. So basically, your full stack, movement speed, and crit rate and crit damage tripod. Okay, you can tell if your buff is gone or not from here. And sometimes you will find yourself like right now I get my full stack, right, but the boss moved away, or I have to do maps, but my stack is still here, right? So what do I do? Because we are not running barricade, that means we have to reapply the stacks even though we have 4 stack. Yeah, that sucks, right? But that's the cons of using Ray Captain. So you better fix every window once. without waiting the boss to move or hit your skill fast. Okay, but in case that case really happened, what you do is, right now I have 4 stack. So right now the boss move away, right? I cannot go with my stack. I have to reapply my stack again. Yeah, at least with our Celestial Wing. For other skill, with these 2 skill, I think you can, it is acceptable for just popping it with 4 stat, but with Celestial Wing, it is recommended to prop it with all of your buff. Yeah, because this is our highest damage skill. Okay, so right now let's talk about some of the card system from Empress. Okay, unlike Emperor, all of our skills and how we draw cards is we don't have a tripod that immediately give us 2 cards. If you guys don't know what I mean, when we play Emperor, we use this tripod from Cross Destiny, which have a chance to give us immediately 2 cards. But in Empress, we don't use this tripod. So all of our skill basically are just building meters. Okay, and when the meter is full, we gain ourselves cards. Okay, and by this means, it means we will never get 2 cards in once. We will only get cards one by one. So we can actually hold our cards without spending it too soon. Okay, let's do some demonstration here. So right now I have a Twisted Fate, right? If I draw this a second ago, I don't have to actually spam it. Okay, I don't have to like Emperor. I don't have to like just use it right away. I can actually wait for the next card to see what is coming. If this is a normal card, I just use it. But like if it gives us like a Judgement or Cull, we can benefit it for saving this card. So when we playing Empress, we can actually hold cards for quite a while, but still we don't want to hold in like a really long time because it is damage loss, right? So my suggestion is we wait 1 rotation to see what cards coming out if we draw one of the decent cards right now. So right now, let's say I just finished my combo and I get myself a Twisted Fate, right? So I do my simple rotation and see what it comes next. Oh, it's a Cull. So what we do now, we wait our Celestial Ring to be on cooldown, and we use it like this. Okay, so you can see why I use Serendipity for the second part of my with the second skill. Why not Secret Garden? This is because I draw myself a Cull. With Cull, Serendipity becomes the first or the second highest damage. Depends on you prop the skill effect or not. Okay, so ideally you want to use both your Celestial Ring and Serendipity within your Cull window. Yeah, but only Cull. Bear in mind, only Cull, because Cull can give us 100% crit rate, but not Twisted Fate and Wheel of Fortune. You don't want to Wheel of Fortune twice your Serendipity without Cull. Okay, if you draw Wheel of Fortune with Cull, I still suggest you use 2 times of Celestial Ring. Okay, but of course, if your Celestial Ring is on cooldown, you can reset your Serendipity twice with Cull. So make sure Serendipity only scales with Cull and Judgement. Okay. For the next thing I talk about is pretty much really advanced stuff, and you don't have to really do it in the first place, but just keep that in mind. This thing can matter with your DPS. If you want to increase your DPS, you can do this from what I told you. So basically what I said is you have to make sure each of your wound skill getting 4 stacks to consume, right? But in fact, except Celestial Ring and Secret Garden, Fall of a Kind actually does a decent base damage itself. So right now I have 2 stack, right? If I use Celestial Ring, it only does like this damage. But if I use Fall of a Kind, it actually does similar or even more damage than Celestial Ring. So actually also with this skill, it has a chance to reset. So we can actually not using this skill only when we have 4 stacks. Like I will show you like some kind of rotation. Right now we only have 1 stacking skill, right? 3 stack, and we can still use it. And why we use it, why we don't wait another skill to coming back to get 4 stack, is because the faster we spam all of our skills, the faster we can get into balance mana, and the higher uptime of balance mana we can get. So similar concept with Fall of Kind, we can actually do this on our Serendipity and Fall of Kind as well. But I still suggest you use this with Fall of a Kind. You use this technique with Fall of a Kind, which means if you find only one of your skill are on cooldown and all of your other wound skill are on cooldown as well, you can just use Fall of a Kind without 4 stacks to consume your mana. And even if it doesn't reset, it's still fine, because you wouldn't want to use this skill twice, right? Because this is the least damage skill. By that time, after you use this skill and you can stack the 4 stats after that, these 2 skills will come back. So you can execute another rotation already. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, so I think this is pretty much all of the things I want to talk about, and maybe I missed a couple of things because I record for so long, I don't really remember what I just said. If I really missed something and you really want to know, feel free to ask me. And I think in the future I will keep posting my Arcana gameplay video for better image for you guys to know about how this class works and how to do more damage in the actual rate, apart from this kind of on paper guide. Yeah, I always think practice make perfect. Actual rate does matters a lot in gameplay. So yeah, if you want to watch more about the Arcana video, please comment down below and let me know what you guys want to watch about, and I will see you around. Bye.